So you know this story. We reported this. This guy went into an airport, dropped off a bag of explosives, left. He got arrested. They caught him. Didn't make the news. We reported it. It got reported locally where it happened, which was Asheville, North Carolina. And so we said that if that guy was Muslim or a member of Black Lives Matter, you wouldn't have heard another news story for about 2 weeks. That's all it would be, because he successfully left a bomb inside of an airport. And
In an airport.
It didn't go off, but it was there, and he left it, and they found it, and he said he wanted to start a war. That's why he was doing it. So believe me, if that was a Muslim or if that was a Black Lives Matter activist, you would never hear the end of it. I mean, ever. But we didn't. But because it was a guy with a nice pale skin, even though he looks like a skinhead, right? He looks like a skinhead.
Yes.
It still didn't make the news. But we covered it. So now Snopes get a hold of it. Snopes. Now, I don't know if you know about Snopes, but they're garbage. You have to double check Snopes all the time. They're biased towards the Democrats. I think they're getting funding now from the Democratic machine. Maybe that, I don't know. This is all conjecture. They're getting funding somewhere from the left, and it's effed. They're effed up now. It says attempted bomb attack on North Carolina airport? ? What? You're not sure if it was? What's the question that they're asking? In October 2017, internet users encountered news accounts reporting an attempted internet users. Yeah. A bombing at Asheville Regional Airport in North Carolina, along with claims that the thwarted attack had gone underreported. Michael Christopher Estes was indeed arrested on October 7th, 2017. According to court documents, he has been charged with an attempted malicious use of an explosive materials and unlawful possession of explosive materials at an airport. He's not charged with terrorism?
Nope.
He's a lone wolf white guy.
So he's not charged with terror. There's no terrorism?
No.
Wow.
Could that be a lighter charge or what?
So then it goes on. It says, as of the 12th of October, 2017, there have been a handful of stories about Estes, mostly syndicated from an Associated Press report. It is true that it has gone largely without coverage or comment. Oh, thank you, Snopes, for confirming that thing that everyone knows to be true, because nobody's heard about it.
So far, they're acknowledging that, yes, it happened and someone was arrested, and they're also acknowledging, oh, yeah, it wasn't really covered.
Okay, so they're acknowledging
what's the question mark about?
So they're acknowledging it happened, they're acknowledging the guy got arrested, and they're acknowledging it's gone largely without coverage.
Mm-hmm.
But their headline had a question mark. What is that question mark about? However, it is unclear what role Estes' perceived ethnicity played in the incident, going mostly unreported.
Oh,
According to records
unclear.
held by Buncombe County Detention Center, where Estes was detained as of October 12th, Michael Christopher Estes is identified as American Indian / Alaskan Native. And that's what he looks like. It is possible that the attempted bombing received little coverage because his perceived ethnicity identity did not fit a pre-existing narrative. It is possible. That is possible. In fact, that is what happened. That is what happened. He did not fit the I'm a Muslim or I'm Black Lives Matter, and so no one heard a goddamn thing about that. However, there are other factors that may have gone into the relative lack of coverage. Really, Snopes? The fact that the bombing was thwarted, making the story relatively low priority.
Oh.
No, Snopey. I'm sorry, Snoopy. But you got your head up your ass again, Snopey. If that was a Muslim guy who successfully dropped a bomb at an airport, that's all we'd be talking about. That is all. We'd be finding out who his family was, where he got radicalized, where he went to school,
His mosque.
which mosque.
We
he's
would
from.
definitely know which mosque he was in.
We would definitely know. There were two guys who claimed to be Black Panthers who stood outside of one polling place 8 years ago, and they still run that tape on Fox. Are you kidding me? Because it was relatively low priority. The fact, by the way, the shoe bomber.
Oh.
The shoe bomber also was thwarted. It didn't work. I have to take my shoes off to this day. So the fact that the terrorist attempt doesn't succeed, that's not the reason why you don't pay attention. The shoe bomber didn't succeed. Everybody still has to take their goddamn shoe off, and we all know that there was a shoe bomber.
15 years later.
We all know there was a shoe bomber. We all know it. So Snopes, that's your first fail. That's your first fail. This is how you know Snopes has to be. So Snopes is supposed to be fact checkers, and you have to fact check Snopes, which makes them fucking worthless. The fact that the bombing was thwarted, making the story relatively low priority. The fact that still shrinking newsrooms have to pick and choose their stories. God fucking. A terrorist attack at an airport. But I bet we got Kardashian news that day, right? And the fact this literally, that's their first two Snopes. That's what they're going with. Here's their third reason. And the fact that newsrooms are so inundated with national and international stories in 2017.
I feel like they just could have combined 2 and 3. I feel like they could have combined their 2 red herrings there, saved some space.
Snopes is officially garbage. Officially garbage. That's Snopes. So what was their, usually they do at the end of the article, false, true?
So they didn't have one for that.
They didn't have one
Yeah,
for
they
that?
didn't have one for that. They just had, like, they're bringing it up. And the reason this was brought to our attention, someone emailed the show and said, hey, I think you got this wrong here, and Snopes has a really good thing. So I was like, all right, I mean, I've been wrong before. We've been wrong before. We're not perfect. Let me look into this. And I was like, is this the person might have been joking, and I should have replied and asked that.
I bet they were
I
maybe.
hope they were joking, because I was like, are they being serious? Because this is ridiculous. Like, it's kind of like, and it's just like this non-issue contrarian point. Like, well, actually, technically, the guy's not white. I mean, this is something the right wing would do.
Yes.
Try to be like, racism's over. What are you talking about? This guy's not even white. Like, so I don't know what you're trying to do here. Like, and Snopes does good work sometimes.
Can I tell you?
I think they do, but here.
Can I tell you what the
Yeah,
shoe
I would like you to point out when Snopes does good work next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they just refute? Didn't they say the Clinton Foundation uranium thing was
Yes.
false? They said
They
that's
just
it.
said
No,
that
Oh,
Snopes
Snoopy
also
Snopes.
says the Clinton uranium story is also bogus or false. So that's how you know Snopes is full of shit. They're partisan liars, and this is very close to lying, right, Ron? What would you call
Oh yeah, no, this is terrible. This is terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
So it's not
I'll
that-
try to find some good ones they've
Let
had.
me put it this way: if we get stuff wrong, it's because we get stuff wrong. Snopes is getting this wrong because they're lying to you. That's a different. This is a form of gaslighting, which I consider lying. So you're making me think, I guess I was crazy to think it was weird that the national news didn't cover a terrorist bombing at an airport. I thought that they were crazy. Thanks to Snopes, it turns out that's normal, and I'm the one who was crazy. That's a form of lying. That's gaslighting.
Why?
And that's what Snopes is doing to you. Again, remember who they're lying to. They're not lying to Sean Hannity's audience. They're lying to you, Rachel Maddow's audience. They're lying to people, not you. You're watching this show. You're not going to Snopes. They're lying to the people who come to them to get the facts. And then they lie to them. That, to me, that's why I used to have a problem with Fox News and the right wing, is because those people come to Sean Hannity for answers. He misinforms them on purpose. And to me, that's the worst thing. It's not like lying to the enemy. You're lying to your friends. Now MSNBC does the same thing. And they did it back then, too. I guess I turned a blind eye to some of it. They did it when they fired Phil Donahue, when he was right about the Iraq War. MSNBC fired him. So,
Jimmy, I want to go back, if I can, for a moment where it said Estes faces charges for attempted malicious use of explosive materials and unlawful possession of explosive materials in an airport, right?
yeah.
So I went and looked at the shoe bomber. Reed pleaded not guilty to charges including attempted murder and attempted destruction of an aircraft. He was also charged, the shoe bomber, with attempted wrecking of mass transportation vehicle. A new charge created after September 11th attacks.
Oh, a new charge.
Huh.
Huh.
So you put a bomb in an airport and you're not charged this? And why isn't this guy called white Christian terrorist? You know?
I just wish newsrooms weren't so shrinking and busy so more people would have known.
Well, I don't know if the guy's a Christian. They said he was Alaskan and Native American. So he could be Christian. I don't know, but he certainly
If
looks
he
white.
went to one Christian church,
Yes.
if he celebrated Christmas once, I said this after the Vegas shooting. I said, why aren't we calling him a white Christian terrorist? And all these people, there's no news if he's a Christian and blah, blah, blah. I go, you're trying to tell me a white guy that lives in a small town in Nevada doesn't, if you asked him what religion to identify with, he has no connection to Christianity at all, just like these guys with thin connections to Islam. It's unbelievable. And terrorism is only if you're part of an organized religion. No, there's two definitions of terrorism. One is that it's part of an organization or a cause. Two, you just create terror.
Yeah.
That's terrorism.
That's terrorism.
Putting a bomb in an airport would have, if it goes off, that would have created terror. So you're a fucking shaved head Alaskan terrorist.
Yes.
Can I add what the shoe bomber said? What I am doing is part of an ongoing war between Islam and disbelief, right?
Yeah.
He acted alone.
Wait a minute now. That sounds familiar. So he wasn't just called Lone Wolf Shoe Bomber. He wasn't called that in the news? I'm forgetting 15 years ago.
Not just a one-off. That would really a psychological problem, not a gun problem or not a shoe bomb problem.
No.
It's a psychological problem.
No, mental illness doesn't affect Muslims.
It's funny when there's a massacre with a gun, they always go, "It's not a gun problem; it's a mental health problem." But shoe bomber, it's not a shoe bomb problem; it's a mental health problem. We should still be allowed to have shoe bombs.
Yeah, a guy that's willing to strap dynamite to a chest doesn't have any mental problems
not
at
mental
all.
problems.
He's not unstable. No, not at all.
So if Estes had a sneaker in that bomb attempt, maybe he would have been charged.
Maybe he would have been charged with murder or attempted
terrorism.
murder or terrorism. Yeah. So there you go, and just keep it in mind. I will not give Snopes the benefit of the doubt like Ron does, and I will say they are garbage. The next live Jimmy Dore show is November 6th in Burbank, California, and November 12th in Portland, Oregon. Link for tickets right there.